So now I want to ask more brief and in summary about your valuable mottos from your life. That means that what do you really think is the principle of something? Yeah, relating to many area in your life. Let me ask you, and it will be just a very quick ask and then quick answer in order we can save some time. But these are all wonderful questions I'm really interested in. Okay. Okay. So the first would relating to your career and your mission. How do you still stay passionate about your work and your treatment? Yes. So because you work so long and so much hours, how did you stay passionate? Quick answer.
That is easy to answer. I find it extremely interesting. What happens in people fascinates me. I have an endless curiosity, and so I don't get tired working. I find it stimulating. What tires is political difficulties at work, administrative, bureaucratic requirements. If I have to lose the time filling idiotic questionnaires, or so I mean that I hate, but the work with patients, teaching, supervising, studying, that I find fascinating, and so it's and my day is very varied. I may see two or three patients, then I supervise a group in, say, in Barcelona, and then a group in China. And then I have research meetings with the members of our institute. I also have been very lucky in being able to bring together a number of extraordinary people. John Clarkin, the co-director of the institute, who is a top researcher and expert in research design. Frank Yeomans, who is our best and enthusiastic teacher. Yves Caligore, who is a fantastic theoretician when it comes to psychoanalytic theory. Diana Diamond, who studies attachment and narcissism. So we have a number of people who have been contributing, and I think one good thing about me, I dare to say, is that I love when people get developed independently, do their own thing. I don't like to be in a guru position. I don't like that everybody follows what I'm thinking. I like it that people develop, and I have very little envy, which helps in life.
Okay.
So this is why I'm doing it, because I'm enjoying it.
Okay.
And so as long as I can do it, I want to do that. And I believe I'm mature enough. If I can't anymore, I would be able to take it, as long as I'm not interfered with some basic ways of enjoying life. And
Wow.
about my ideas, I am my political ideas. I'm an old-fashioned European liberal against extreme position of extreme right, extreme left, tolerance. So nothing. I am I'm religious in the sense that I acknowledge the important ideological and human influence of religious beliefs, although I'm not following any particular religion closely, but I'm respectful, of course, also very critical of the deviation of religions who become sadistic ways of mistreating their subjects. So I'm very critical there. I think I've told you about my interest in science, in art,
Yeah.
in human beings.
Let me make it more clear a little bit, but I think you have answered all, because you're sharing with me that you have numerous curiosity about people. And when working with the people you love, you just don't feel that it's a waste of time or you're tired. You just love what you did. Yeah, this is the main reason. But I'm thinking, working for 70 hours per week is a huge devotion to your work and your life. For me, as a 37 years old woman, I can only work around 40 hours. This is my max working time. So can you tell me a little bit about how can you work 70 hours per week when you're young? So is there any secrets?
Yeah, I told you already, it is, it's just that I enjoy it, and it's so varied. I do different things. It's not that I'm sitting in the same place. I'm seeing patients, and of course I'm interested in difficult patients, and I've always taken difficult patients. I'm interested in the limits of what we know and whether they can be expanded. So I have some patients who are extremely difficult, and I don't know whether I will be able to help them. But to try to do as much as I can gives me a sense of gratification. I really don't feel that I'm working hard in terms of my daily experience. A part of this may simply be genetics, temperament. I'm grateful that I've been able to do it so far, as I'm grateful that I've had the opportunity in my life to meet so many interesting people. I find myself privileged by having met some of the leaders in the field. I've had good and bad experiences too. I also have had bad experiences, but I was able to survive them and draw the right lessons from them.
Yeah. So I just want to let you know that it's very talent, and it must be a magic that you can work so long without any tiredness, and you can keep on working until more than 90 years old. It's a magic in our eyes. Maybe,
Well,
and I understand that it's normal for you. It's easy for you, but it's really not easy for most of other people, and especially our patients. It's hard to devote themselves so long time on working, on seeing people. Yeah.
If you talked with my wife, she would tell you all the things in which I'm terrible. And
Okay.
I have no talents for constructing things. My knowledge of electronics is minimal. Any problem with my computer, I have to go to my wife, who and much more of computers than I. So
Ah,
I'm very impractical. So I know my strengths and my weaknesses, and it is natural that only the good things show up in public, but I have the same problem that everybody else.
I agree with you, and thank you for being so frank. And I love what you're sharing about your relationship with your wife. And here, following the second quick test. Okay, my question is, what is the key in maintaining a loving relationship?
Can you repeat the last part of the question? What is the
Okay. What is the key in maintaining a loving relationship, an intimate relationship?
What is the
Key.
the essence of intimate
The
relationship?
key. Yeah, the
The
key.
key.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um, there are several keys.
Okay.
I think in a good relationship, in a good love relationship, there should be, first of all, a good understanding in the sexual area.
Yeah.
Freedom to express sexual needs and gratify needs for each other, and enjoy jointly the sexual experience. Equally important, of course, is that the enjoyment of daily life, the mutual respect, interest in making life easier for each other, and a natural way of combining the work that each of the partners has to do easily, with natural and fair distribution of activities. A commonality of ideals and way of thinking. One doesn't need to be of the same political party, but should have a general harmony of one's intellectual, ideological views. These are the external aspects of the relation. And internally, there should be a combination of capacity to depend on the other and to have the other depend on one, to be both autonomous and to be able to depend mutually, to be curious about the life of the other, to be really interested, really naturally interested in what one's partner is doing, wants to, and enjoy the personality of the partner, enjoy the internal life as well as the body and the attitude, and feel that one can honestly share with the other what's going on, because the other one is going to share that interest in one. And have a sense of responsibility for the other and for the couple and for its joint life. The other person really becomes as important as oneself. And have a sense of admiration for one's partner, and gratitude for having found that person. A sense of pleasure every time you see each other again after a few hours of separation. One can fight and have bad moments and be enraged with each other, but always with the awareness that the relationship is so deep and solid, it is not threatened by disagreement and anger and whatever. It helps, of course, if the persons are relatively mature and have a good, solid identity in depth, know what they want and what they can offer. I have written about this. I have a book on love relations, normal and pathological, that I wrote, that came out, I think, 2008. So, but I still think that I still believe what I said there. I try to analyze love from these various angles that I've mentioned. Really to be grateful that one has been able to find a person that makes life so much richer. Because a shared life experience makes the world seem fuller and really enriches one's enjoyment of everything. So I'm convinced that the human institution of marriage is of great psychological value, and I'm not very much impressed by sometimes the assumption that men and women have to fight each other. I think that that's total, that in a good love relationship, issues of power should not be important.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, you talk about the importance of tolerance, actually, I think. But this is the difficult part, because when you shared about there is some part that your wife maybe with you crazy about, I think it's almost every couple have some conflicts in their life. So can you maybe say one or two sentences more relating to how did you in your marriage manage all these conflicts, which maybe is unavoidable?
You are absolutely right. I fully subscribe to that. All our relations are ambivalent. It's unavoidable that the person we love most is the person who enrages us most.
Yes.
And that we have to learn to tolerate some aspects that we don't like at all. But within the total context, it shouldn't become difficult to both experience that tolerance and know that one is tolerated in some idiosyncrasies that one hasn't been able to control in oneself. So we have to find an optimal way of getting together, not perfection.
Okay. So now we will move to the next question relating to health and longevity. So I have asked that you really spend a lot of time on work. So how do you balance your health? You know, you have living well till now that you still have a well body, I think. How do you take care of your body and keep yourself energetic and lived a long life with health?
How to take care of my body?
Yes, your
Oh,
health.
yes. I am. Uh, I'm basically a in the house person. I'm not a sports person, but to maintain myself physically, I just run twice a week on a treadmill, and I run for an hour on a treadmill twice a week, and do while I watch television at the same time, and I try to maintain a healthy diet. I used when I was about 40 years old, I started gaining weight. I became concerned about it and went into a weight control program at the Mayo Clinic and learned a method by which I can maintain my weight perfectly, exactly at the level at which I want to. So I have a well-balanced diet, and I try to follow all the instructions from my doctors. I be as responsible as I can without being a hypochondriac, and do enough exercise. So I think I'm maintaining myself reasonably without being really motivated for big out of door activities. I used to love mountain climbing, but I used to love that, but I have had to abandon that, of course, because of age, and so I haven't been doing that since. I used to love it until age 50. After that, I gradually stopped doing it.
Wow. But that might be really enough for giving you a very basic, energetic body.
That's possible, yes.
So, you know, in our country, if you are over 90 years old, around 100 years old, people will go and do research on you to know how did you get your long life. And okay, so let's go to the next question relating to friendship and partnership. So how do you maintain and refresh a long-term meaningful friendship?
I have, unfortunately, a decreasing number of close friends, because some friends of my own age group die, and it's always a tremendous loss. But that's part of life. I have a few friends with whom I have a really close relationship. Now we communicate mostly by Zoom. They all live in different parts of the world. And I also have good relationship with my children, and with the family of my wife. So it is a group of close friends. I always have had 2 or 3 or 4 friends with whom I could talk very intimately about everything. I have very few of these relationships left. As I mentioned, because I'm in in the age in which people tend to die.
Yeah.
But the close friends that I have, I very much enjoy, and these are friendships of 30 to 50 years, and I enjoy them greatly. They are friendships are, as Octavio Paz said, are the leaves of the tree of life.
Yes. So my question is relating to how did you, because there is people come in and out of our life, and some of them become our deep friend. Yeah. So how did you maintain this deep friendship? I mean, did you often call them? Did you, meet them regularly, or what do you do to maintain and refresh a long-term and meaningful relationship? Yeah.
I spend the weekends calling them and having long conversation.
Okay.
And am always available for them, and they are available for me. I know I ask, do you have time? Friendly say, no, call me tomorrow. So we decide when we are going to talk, and to talk means to really have some hours, if you may use them or not, but at least you have them, so you are not pressed for time. And can talk about yourself and what worries you. Sometimes you just need somebody to listen to you.
Yes.
And you don't need to call. After the death of my wife, my first wife, I got quite depressed, and I started a psychotherapeutic treatment with a colleague and a distant friend whom I trusted more than anybody else. And so I was 1 year in psychotherapy with him, and it was extremely helpful. It was very, very helpful. The transformation of a friendship in a therapeutic relationship.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So keep on talking, keep on sharing, right? I said, keep on talking and keep on sharing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Non-stop. Okay. So the last part about your life experience is relating to entertainment and self-cultivation, which I think you have mentioned a little bit. So I would ask it again, relating to what will you do when you're not at work? And what will you do to have some fun? And I mean that the things that can really nourish you when you are alone. Painting.
I love taking long walks with my wife, watch nature. I love, as I told you, watching films, reading books,
Yes.
and meeting with friends. I love occasionally to go to good restaurants and have gourmet meals. I can do that without being concerned of gaining weight, as I told you.
Yeah.
And I love music, classical music, and theater, but of course, these are not that frequent activities. Theater is not, now that we are here on an island, I don't have
Yeah.
opera or theater, but
Yeah.
I have music, paintings, film, books, nature.
A lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and 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 a few very good, intimate friends from many
Mm.
years.
What kind of books would you read when you're not work?
Uh, I like novels,
Ah.
contemporary novels. Um, it I discover authors. Uh, uh, some my friends and children help me to discover books, and as I said, predominantly German and Latin American literature.
Okay. Okay. Wow, so it's a lot about your life experience, and I think we can spend hours and hours on that, but we have to stop here.